get video on her. I got
you're
power.
good.
Yeah, I got.
What up, Lance? Good morning.
I finally got power. Literally like 5 minutes ago, it came back on. So I'm not in the dark. Nothing.
My guy's got his Wheaties to win the championship. I like it.
I got my good old eggs, grits, and cheese. I feel like I'm at Cracker Barrel.
Oh yeah, Cracker Barrel. That's a good one. That's a slice of Americana.
You know, I had Thanksgiving there one year. Rock bottom. It was great though. Like $8, you eat like a king. And then at the end of the day, it's like, all right, bye everyone. Peace.
Listen, if you walk out of Cracker Barrel on Thanksgiving still thankful, God bless you. That's amazing.
Oh, dude. And you get like the little apple cinnamon slices, the hard cornbread, the biscuits.
What's up, Art? There's people talking to us. Art's out here from California, 6 a.m. in Art. I like it. Strong to get up that early.
He's still in Cali, a survivor.
Yep. Thanks everybody for joining us. It's an interesting week we've got in store. I'm still pissed off. You don't watch football, do you?
Yeah, I watched the game.
Did you see the Cincinnati KC game last night?
Yeah, so apparently people are boycotting the Super Bowl. Well, they're really not, but it's one of the most corrupt sports. It really is. And you know why it's corrupt?
Because it can be. Yeah, because they can. Because it's entertainment, right? They could do whatever. They could do whatever they want. But so let me walk you through my anger. I had like $500 to win about $2,800 on Cincinnati. I had like all these bets rolling into the Cincinnati bet. I do these parlays, as I've shown you guys in the past. And so I had Cincinnati +1. I had Philly like all day long. That was easy. That was the easy part. And then I had Cincinnati. And so I'm sitting here in the fourth quarter, and I've get these buddies of mine that are also gambling degenerates, and they're texting me on the side, and they're like, they're gonna freaking steal this shit from us. Watch. And I'm like, bro, they can't do it. They redid a third down. I never seen that. I've been watching football since I was 6 years old. I'm 40. I've been watching football for 40 years. I've never seen in an NFL game a play get a do-over. We're doing this play over. They did the entire play. No one heard a whistle. Everyone played a play, and they did a do-over. I've never seen that in my life. But anyways, sour grapes, whatever. This life, man. You got to take the L's.
You do. And it's like, I'll give you why I wasn't pissed, but I'll give you a that's life comment. So last Friday, I had Tesla 139 calls for like, I don't know, $3.50. What were they? 380, 350, 360, something like that?
Yeah. A week ago from Friday, like before yeah.
Stock was like 135.
Right.
I sold them Monday at the open, and then like an hour into the day, I think I got like 450. Okay. Something like that. Like right at $4.50. It was a good trade, like 30-40%, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
They had earnings though. What was it? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And then the squeeze just started. They had earnings. Stock didn't move after hours because I was going to buy the 155 calls.
Stock was launched in like the 140s. Remember, it was like in the mid 140s. Yeah,
like 142, 143, and then on the conference call, I guess started doing his dancing, all that stuff, and it started to rip. So the call paid nicely, and then Friday it was up another 11%. Those calls would have went from like $3.50 to over $39.
Well, on this show last week, we were looking at outside of the money, big moves, right? We were like, this is not that massive a move. We talked about this last week. We talked about Tesla as a case that if it gets going, that we looked at the 150 calls. The stock closed at what, 178?
Yeah.
And the 150 calls were like still
$2.
$2.
Yeah, they were like bucks, 225. So that's another 10 bagger. I mean, I have close to 6 figures in Tesla stock in my big portfolio, my like retirement, where I have structured stuff. So I have basically a capped, so it was obviously good for that. But at the same time, it was like, shit, I wish I would have held my calls, obviously.
Look at Ratto. I had the 150 calls Jeff mentioned last week, Monday. for 360 and sold them before earnings.
Wow. Art saying he made he made enough money to go to Disney for a day.
Yeah, the ref stole more money from me than that.
Dude, I was actually yesterday, I was actually gonna go to the ponies and gamble, watch the horse racing and
Oh, we had a big horse race in Miami. Were you gonna go to the one in Miami?
no,
The Pegasus?
No. But I decided to I went out on the boat and you got tan and just messed around, smoked cigars. But I thought of going to the ponies.
I like the ponies.
Yeah. Smoke a cigar, bet on the horses.
Win? You hit any trifectas?
I do when I go, I do the trifectas though. First, it's the best bang for your buck, you know.
I know. That's why I said it.
Hello, BB. We have BB's in the chat, our good friend.
Yeah, people don't know how much, like exactly how much degenerate activity experience we have collectively. People are always talking about, I have 20 years in the market, which I do, and you have decades, and but the real value is in like being a degenerate since I was a child. Like I used to like play these crazy games in like New York City and like Atlantic City on the boardwalk. These crazy like card games, AC Doocy. You ever played AC Doocy?
Oh yeah, AC Doocy.
Degenerate life started really young, my friend.
I mean, you did go to FSU, all the Florida colleges. If you have
I went to FSU, yeah, but those were the lost years. You know how they have like the band that has like the lost years? Those are the lost years. Let me share my screen before we go down too far in the rabbit hole talking about FSU. That shit's crazy. Let's look at, we've got a lot of stocks this week, dude. We've got a lot of stocks earnings. We've got Meta, Penn, Apple, Qualcomm, Ford, Google, Amazon. Giddy up. Giddy up.
And you got the Fed. That's why I think the market's down a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
It's just had such a huge bid last week.
Right.
That, any excuse, like what is it? Crypto's down 2%. They did some new government crap with it.
Yeah.
Excuse to any headline and any excuse.
Yeah, so there was a big semis headline. The Chinese nuclear program were still buying Intel and NVIDIA chips after the ban. Like, not only are you not supposed to, like, were these companies not supposed to sell chips to China, but they're freaking selling them to their nuclear agency. Like, there's going to be, these guys, what these guys don't realize is that the administration in Washington right now has a proverbial hard on for corruption and for corporate malpractice. And they're anti-capitalist already. Let me be blunt. They're anti-capitalist in DC right now. So you don't want to give these guys more reasons to come after you. And like, I'm looking at this shit. I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Idiots. But I digress.
They hate Google. They hate Snapchat. They hate TikTok. I mean,
does NVIDIA need to sell? Like, did they like? Is that going to be that big? Like a return for them, bang for their buck? It's obviously like political, like power play on the Chinese on them. But I don't know. I'm looking at it just like
I was watching too with the China Taiwan more tensions and everything like that. I'm just like, ugh. And then you see the China stocks down this morning, Baba.
Yeah.
Baba's been taking a hit finally.
Did you see Baidu is magically recreating ChatGPT? They steal everything. It's like, oh my God, we have a ChatGPT too. Don't worry about it. Hey, Microsoft, you go spend whatever, $15 billion on it. We got it too. Don't worry about it. We got it too.
That's the new buzzword. It's kind of like, the plant-based sausage, cannabis, EV. That's the new thing. It's going to be AI. This AI.
But isn't it amazing how the Chinese can literally they launched ChatGPT into the marketplace in like December, I think. And here we are at the end of January and the Chinese already have the copy ready to roll out. You got to ask yourself how the hell that happens.
Dude, they had the ChatGPT pass the medical exam already.
But I mean, the Chinese have the knockoff version like within like 30 days is the point that I'm making.
They're
Incredible.
they're always I don't want to get canceled, but
Oh, let's get canceled. They're stealing our shit, bro, and we need to protect it. Come on now. You got to pick a side at some point in life. You got to know who you are, and you got to pick a side. You got to pick a team.
That is
I know
very
what team I'm on. I know what team I'm on. You know.
And so and so's running. Did you see that? Our governor.
The what?
Our governor is putting in his bid.
Oh yeah, he's got to. He's got all the money behind him.
Yeah, he'll win. Anyhow, let's get to some of these moves. Maybe
look at this. Let's start with economics, then we'll go to the stocks. We have some time here. So we've got this week, obviously the Fed, right? The FOMC is coming out in the middle of the week, and it's coming out expected to do 25 basis points, taking it up to 475. Now, this is interesting because if you look at the 2-year index, Lance, people are pricing in that they're going to have another 50 basis points of rate cuts 2 years out, which I'm not sure, you know?
Well, everyone keeps talking about inflation coming down. So I just don't think Jay Powell will do anything abnormal here.
No, he's going to do 25, and he's probably going to do another 25 at the next one. So they're going to be at 5%. But this is pricing in another 75 basis points of rate cuts at 425 2 years from now. And if you go 10 years from now, this seems more possible. But 2 years from now, I don't know. I think they're going to stay higher for longer.
Yeah, I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
Is to stay high.
Because the thing is, you get like, the market works against these fools, right? Like you're getting this face ripper of a rally in the stocks. And that's counterproductive to what these guys want to accomplish. That's inflationary all of a sudden.
Right.
We're having a little bit of a down move in oil today, but we'll see how long that lasts. But if we look at this NASDAQ move, dude, let's talk a little macro before we get into these stocks so we can have an idea of what we're looking at.
And what's crazy is too, you guys got to realize, let's say like, for example, one of my guys comes to me and says, "Hey, Lance, I could get you 4.5% on money market account, right? Why would I need to go and buy some risky stock, right? Usually that's going to be the case, right? I should put my safe stuff, right? Because I'm getting, I don't want to say guaranteed, but I'm getting FDIC insured, 4.5% on my money. Obviously that can change.
People love risk-free or low risk return, right? Like I used to have a money market account in the early 2000s that would pay. It was a money market. It wasn't even a CD that was paying 5%.
Yeah, I'm almost out there right now.
Whatchamacallit, Interactive Brokers is paying near 4% on your cash laying in your account. So they had an awesome quarter. And what's his name? The CEO. I love that guy. He's like this old.
He's on so often. He's
cool. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Is he, Russian or something? Ukrainian?
Hungarian, I think.
Hungarian.
He's been through like World War II and the whole shit. He's a tough bastard. He knows everything. And so he was out there and he's like, he was like ABC Lance. He was always closing. He was like, he kept saying, we are offering 3.74% on your cash. And I'm sitting there, I have an Interactive account, but I've been using TOS and TradeStation. I have a lot of accounts, but I'm like, maybe I need to move much more cash into this Interactive account because of what they're just paying your dormant capital. And when I start to think about that, there's not that much of an incentive to take risk other than the FOMO that's happening right now. So we're looking, someone said, Cyrus said, oh, it's going to be 50 basis points, right? 50 basis points. I don't think it's going to be 50. I think that's a little bit crazy for the Fed. That would be like a market crash if that happens. I think we're going to dip maybe today, maybe tomorrow also, but that's probably a dip you buy if I'm talking just like generally speaking macro, because I think they're going to deliver 25. And if we look at the top here, you see I'm moving this cursor around. It says the implied rate, and this is like the total of all bets on what people are betting is a 26 basis point hike. So there's like de minimis amount of probability that it's going to be 50 basis points. Just what it is.
Yeah,
and
I think
sorry, go ahead, Lance.
No, go ahead.
And over the next one, by the next one, they're looking at 46.9%. So it's not even like a given that there's going to be 50 total between the next two. If you look at this, it's less than 50% implied rate after the second Fed meeting. That's how you read this. So I don't know. I mean, people talk a lot of shit, but I like to look at numbers. And yeah, 25 and maybe another 25 for now.
So let me ask, what do you think happens to the market Wednesday? Let's say despite, so what's gonna move the market? Google.
I think we sell a little bit off. I think we sell a little bit off today, maybe rally again tomorrow, maybe a little nervous going into the Fed. Fed comes in, gives everybody some reason to buy stocks. Stocks rip. And I think stocks rip either way. Not 50, I'm taking out of the equation as a possibility. I have 50 at like 5% possibility, maybe 10% maximum, right? So if you take the 50 off, then it's just a 25 basis point hike and then whatever the guy says. Last time he said a lot of negative shit, the market still ripped higher, right? So I think market rips post-Fed, probably rips the next morning. The bulk of the earnings are coming on the 2nd, which is what? Thursday.
You after that, and
yeah, go ahead.
And you don't. So you have Google, Amazon, Meta, I believe Thursday. So
Yeah.
and then Apple and stuff like that's the following week, I believe.
Yeah.
So what I think the scenario will be is with, so even today, let's say we just stay down, right? Tomorrow, nothing. Wednesday, Fed comes out. Market maybe initially sells off, then rallies. Big tech comes out. I'm actually pretty bullish on big tech earnings just because the stocks have been beat down so much. Like I think Amazon rallies. I think Meta rallies. Google, I don't really know, but so
well,
Meta.
Let's look at a couple of cases. Which one do you want to look at first?
Look at
what?
Amazon.
Yeah, well, I've got Amazon up. So
Okay.
Amazon is trading down 80 basis points pre-market. It's at $101. Let's look at the weekly calls. We love the weeklies, right?
Oh yeah.
And then we'll go at Bloomberg. So we're going to guess. We know what implied vol is because it's right in front of us. But let's take a look at, so I think that let's look at the stock first. Let's take a look at the chart, right? So if we look at Amazon, where has this stock been? Where can it go?
It's been Amazon's been beat down, but like all the big cap tech. I mean,
look at this. So I love these kind of charts. This is a chart that's really cool. This is a stock that gapped lower on October 27th, right? So it's gapped. The close of the gap was about $110. So that for me is like a guardrail of where it could trade at the minimum. It's going to test that level. If they can squeeze it above, the same way that we were looking at Tesla and we were like 150 is a place, right? If they can squeeze it above, this stock easily can trade back to 120.
So.
Right?
So we have a gap fill at 110. Usually about 80% of gaps get filled eventually.
Yeah.
Higher.
Right.
But I bet you if we look at the options, I bet you that 110 is going to be right to the implied move. What are the 101? What is the stock at now? 101? What are the 101 calls?
It's 101 calls for $5, but they're going to be lower. I don't have the pre-market quote. It'll be a little bit lower because the stock's
Let's just look at the 102 at the time Friday. So 102 calls are $4.50.
Yeah.
102 puts are about what, 420? Let's just say
50 ball.
So $9 is 110.
These are easy double, man. An easy double. I think.
What are 10 calls pricing? Just curious.
The which one?
The 110 calls. They should be like $1.
Dollar and a half.
I probably would do either a call spread, or or just buy, the at the money calls. Right.
So you'd buy like the 110s and you'd sell like which ones?
No, I probably do like the 107 and 110 call spread.
Okay.
Something like that. Or like the 105, 110 if you get a good bang. Or to be honest, I don't think options are that expensive. I think you can even buy.
Let's look at the stock. Let's do what we do. Why am Tesla's always on my mind, bro? It's taken over everything. Tesla is everything. It's become
Tesla, dude, Tesla traded 7% of all option volume.
It's a pure Ponzi stock at this point. I love Elon personally, and I
That's
think the
why-
company
that's
is
why
an
it's
important
great.
company. But it's become like pure Ponzi, right?
Yeah, it's became like the
Casino.
the one thing that people can't not look at.
It's
You
the
know,
casino, man. Okay, so
it
here
is.
we go. 7.92%. There is the implied one-day move, right? The average absolute price change has been 6.69%.
Yeah,
So if we look at the past 4 sessions, it's a mixed bag. You've had 2 up days, you've had 2 down days.
But
right?
look at the moves though, how outsized they've been. Besides last quarter, what was it, 7%?
Mm-hmm.
Look how big the past.
That's
3
what I'm
moves.
saying. 115, 120 is not crazy by the end of the week. Not crazy because you'll get a whole extra day of trading. Remember?
Yep.
All right. No, they come out Thursday night. You'll just have Friday. But
You'll get Friday.
Yeah. But let's look at the monthly on. Let me look at the monthly for a second here. It might make sense to look at the monthly because those are probably still like.
They're well, play ball is going to drop. What are the monthly?
You got the rest. You've got like half of February to pay for an extra $2.
That's not bad.
The hundreds are $6, $6.50.
That's not bad. And let's say the stock gap's down 5%. Those options probably go down, what, 60, 70%?
I think the monthly is actually a better play for Amazon personally.
I think what are the 110s for Feb monthly?
They're only $2. Pay an extra buck for an extra couple of weeks.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Because these have much more potential to quadruple than the one that ends Friday.
Yeah. Well, also too, what if you get like a 4% move or 5% move?
Mm-hmm.
Weekly calls are going to just get crushed.
They're going to be dead. So
yeah.
So if we're talking chop, you got to look at Amazon monthly 110s.
Yeah.
Look at all this value people are getting right now. Can you believe this?
Also, too, I always think about this. So, Amazon, since Bezos left, it's been kind of a shithole. What if they announce something where like Bezos is like, I don't know, not coming back as CEO because he won't. He's too busy partying with his Spanish girlfriend. But what if they're like, Bezos is...
He's a bit of a freak show, though. Yeah. I'm sorry.
What if they're like Bezos has this new initiative where he's going to do... I don't know, be on the board and be in a freaking movie or something, like something with Amazon streaming or something. Like, I think that
one part of Amazon that everybody's bearish on is the part that Microsoft guided down on, which is the cloud, right? So that's a given. The given is the cloud's going to suck. People are assuming that retail is going to be subdued. I like your wild card ideas. I like the wild card businesses they're working on,
I think you're right. I think people are so bearish on the retail side because everyone has no money anymore and inflation and stuff. But I actually think that's going to shock a lot of people.
Ford. Let's look at Ford. This is the reason I'm looking at it is because it's not a tech stock. Just for a second, right? It's not a tech stock. They have earnings also on the same day.
Yeah.
And they're around $13 right now. You can buy. Yeah, that's a big move, man. That's actually a bigger move expected in Ford than in Amazon.
You know why Ford? Probably because Tesla had such a big move that the market panicking because all there's so much unknown with that EV space right now that I think market makers are starting to panic because you have coming in March the IRS does their new EV tax credit requirements. So that's like a huge thing with the car companies. Right. So if the company doesn't qualify, sales are going to be crappy. If they do, it's going to surge, kind of like what Tesla did when they said demand for their Model Y and Model S was so hot the past week since they cut prices. So you have a lot of issues. Not obviously car sales have dropped and car values, stuff like that, but it's more about demand going forward with the new EV tax credit.
Okay. Do you have a lean on this stock?
No, I got like 40 G's in it on my retirement.
Long term's not. That's different.
Trades on it. I had puts on it a couple weeks ago. The stock went higher for like 2 days, and I took like a small loss, and then the stock dropped.
Puts are actually tastier on the monthly. If you look at the puts,
is it the call skew is high then? What are they?
Skew-
Well, they
skews-
are.
Yeah, skews real high. Look at the
Probably, again, like this Tesla, you know, they're
yeah,
going to cause more pricier. Usually when it comes
tasty.
to earnings though, usually puts are more expensive than calls because they want the price of insurance or the price of hedging to be more expensive.
I
So
like
usually,
I like those Feb 17, 13 puts.
if you get a big gap down too, you know, the puts are definitely going to move.
Yeah. I don't
What do
like
you?
the weekly because all these guys are earning on Thursday after market. You only get one day. I don't like that. I don't like that.
It
You got to give it
becomes
at least 2 or 3 days of post earnings potential. Like one of the reasons Tesla was such a massive home run is because you had 3 days of trading after that.
and you
Right?
had that squeeze on Friday that kind of blindsided everyone.
That's correct.
You know,
So
I know
look
it
how
just
cheap, but the problem is Ford is a cheap ass stock. Ford's only up 14% this month. Tough, but
I think
still tastier from a risk reward perspective.
well also too, like you said, it's not a tech stock. The tech stocks, they've
Texel,
been
yeah,
unreal when they've gone up. It's just been parabolic.
that's
You know,
right. That's right.
you can't short, and that's what I've been telling people. It's very hard to get short because even if you're right, your timing has to be right, but also you have to cover your puts.
So
And
I do short, you know where I short the best? I short the best in my burn notice when I'm doing it at the close and then I'm covering it like in the first hour or two in today. So like we had Nvidia short over the weekend because they were just going nuts at the end to have it. And I was like, there's a few catalysts that can make people a little bearish coming into this new week. Whatever, trade worked, you know, normal life, it's supposed to work. But the idea being that if I'm going to be short, I can't invest on the short side because you're going to get your ass ripped. You got to trade super fluid and quick from the short side.
every time I've swing trade put, so I'm in puts and I've held them, let's say for more than a few days,
Yeah.
I've lost because if
Trade's
I
got
don't,
to work right away too. Trade has to work right away. Like we started shorting Nvidia. By the time that the market was closed, we were out money already. Like it was going down into the close. So it's gotta work right away too. I think we're done, bro. I think we got to the end of today. I think we provided a decent amount, a relatively decent amount of humor and a shit ton of good trading ideas for the week, which is the point of this show. That's the point of this show. That's what makes us different. That's what makes this show different from anything you're going to see out there. And I know you all watch all of that stuff. I know you watch everything, but I want you to walk away with one thought today. This was a little bit different than all these other shows where people are just giving their opinions about the economy and about what factory order is going to be in 2025. Because I don't freaking know. I have no idea, and neither do you. So
no, and I always say this: you could be the smartest economics professor in the world, but there's a reason why they're professors and not traders, right? Because we have one goal: to make money in the market. That's it. Not to be right, not to be wrong, not to boost our egos on what the economic number is going to be. It's to trade and try to make money in the short term. You know, that is the goal. So everyone out there, if you're watching,
sign up for this stuff. Yeah.
Subscribe, turn on notifications so you can watch it. You'll get like an alert on your phone. And leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Zoom, crush the open YouTube, I guess. I don't really know what else. We don't handle all the back end stuff. So
we're going to have another episode. We're going to start doing 2 a week, I think. We're going to do a crush the open to end the week, either Thursday or Friday. We're working through it, but stay tuned to that. Be ready for that because we're going to go over what we talked about. Accountability is important in this world. So we're going to see where that lands. I think it's better to do it Friday because all the earnings coming out Thursday night anyway. So probably going to be Friday this week. Let's just see. Let's see what happens. But also in the morning.
Friday morning, I think that would be good.
Yeah. All right. Peace and love. Have a great week, guys. Be strong. Thank you all for watching us.
Holla, holla.